Yo, 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 yo. Hello, everyone. When I say yo, there are a lot of there are a lot of things in there. Yo, I'm doing okay. By the way, I'm Redeemer. You can also call me Mawuenyegang. Mawuenyegang. All right. So that's it. Okay. Now let me just make this clear. When I say yo, 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 don't take it lightly. It means a lot of things. It means good morning. It means hello. It means good afternoon, whatever, whenever you are watching it. So when I say yo 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 yo, it's just me greeting, okay? Because I meet some people, I say I greet them like chairman also, bro. This. But when I say yo, I don't know who is watching it. It might be someone that I don't think might be watching. So when I say yo, it's not as if I'm trying to be so informal or anything. Okay, just that here we just try to express ourselves that way so that we can relax whilst soaking in good information. All right, by God's grace, He has made us to be doing this for the benefits of everyone who happens to be watching. All right, so no, now today, the topic for today is living modestly in a world obsessed with more. Living modestly in a world obsessed with more. Living modestly in a world obsessed with more. So we just describe it, what it means, what living modestly means, what everything, and then I've come up with 5 points, all right, which is research points, research point, and we'll discuss them as well. And by the end, we'll know how living modestly in a world obsessed with more is important. Okay. One good thing I'll share before I even start is that it saves time, and it saves time. It makes time to be used well. All right, and it also saves us from worry. Okay, the Bible mentions that we shouldn't worry, and worry is like it's not good in those days. Why should we say? Why do you think about tomorrow? And because tomorrow will take care of itself. God, and God takes care of those things. So we shouldn't be worried. So too much. I mean, we can't help ourselves but worry sometimes. But too much of it, I think, isn't good. So by the end of this, we will know some, one or two. Let's say one or two. All right. So description of this. So living modestly in a world obsessed with more. How can it be said, or how can it be explained so that it is in simple language for us to understand? Okay. The world pushes luxury, status, and success. All right. But Jesus calls us to something richer. All right. Okay. So let us talk about modesty, not just in dress, but in mindset, lifestyle, and value, and how it leads to peace and purpose. Okay, how it leads to peace and purpose. All right. Mm-hmm. So I think modest is just like you know the a simple good way to handle things. All right. So not just in dress, not just wearing dress that's okay enough, mm, but also having character or mindset that are also clear enough. It just modest mostly brings just clarity, just brings the thing out the way it should be. Just okay. Okay, it's standard. I mean, yes, standard. All right. So, with that being mentioned, let me just talk about this a while. Then we move to the 5 points. Okay, and I'll mention them also. We explain them also because I just read the explanation for living modestly. So, what we are reading here is that you know yes, it's okay, we change status, we change success, those things, and we are not saying that it's bad. Okay, we are just saying that when something better is there, you don't just continue to go for the average. Okay, because we have been described to us that Jesus has something better. Okay, so Let me make this example. Okay, let me make this example. Let me make this example. You see, uh, someone can have this. I usually use this for example. Maybe I can use this also. Can use this also for an example. Someone might have this. You see, and it will just be there to show maybe there's the new trend that, oh, when you have this, that means people will like you and all these things. That's it. Without any kind of understanding at the back, just that people just because maybe someone held it to do, maybe I held it to do a video today, so everyone is also holding it. Maybe, but meanwhile, that the person, the original person who used it was using it for an example, like the way I'm using it for example, and maybe now you see, I have essence for it. I have essence for using it. So this thing, because I use it properly and I use it in a way, and the mindset is there for using it correctly at the proper time. It got the message across, and then it got me what I wanted. All right. Now, when you just see it as a trend and you don't have any mindset, any good reason backing it, and you also decide to take this one, describing how to remove car tie. You're talking about how to remove car tie and you're holding this because I'm holding this. I held this to do a video or something, and then it's trendy because so you also take it and then so instead of going for the tools for making car ties and then saying it in a way, okay, it's different when the person is talking and then make it clear that I don't know how the person will do it, but they make it clear by using this and then having a mindset that will make people understand that um removing a car tie, you can use this. However, the person will do it fine. All right, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm saying here is that you see, if when you have this clarity in Jesus, things will be just simple enough for you to understand. Just that at the beginning, it is not something we are used to most of the time, so it will be a little hard. But this modesty, it is in Christ that we find it. You can't find it in the world because the world is obsessed with more. All this adverts, all these plenty things, and we are not saying that we are going to change that, but we are changing ourselves so that we will be in a different era. We understand a different era, an era ahead, an eternal era. All right. So, with that being said, let's dive deep into the 5 points, and then we can also explain those things, those 5 points, and then we'll get a deeper and a firmer understanding of what living modestly in a world obsessed with more. So I'll just mention the points. After that, then I'll talk more about them. Then we can bring this to an end so that we can go and check some other things. All right. So what is modest living? What is modest living? I think I tried to explain, but let me read the actual thing so that at the end of the day, we will know that this is actually what we are talking about. Okay, not just because you heard it from me. All right. So one, what is modest living? What is modest living? What is modest and what is not? So this is intentionally choosing simplicity over excess. I think this is intentionally choosing simplicity over excess. So standard, okay, this how it should be. Nothing more, nothing less. This are packed. Then okay, simplicity over excess. Okay, it doesn't mean poverty or lack of ambition, but making choices based on value and not trends. Okay, so I think that is the meaning of this modest living we are talking about. Okay. Two, pressure to keep up. So after this 5 points, it will give us a wider explanation of this. Okay, pressure to keep up. How society pushes more social media and marketing product buying, and this creates unnecessary comparison, anxiety, and over, you know, or even debt. Okay, so pressure to keep up. So if you want to live a modest living, don't let this one bother you. Pressure to keep up, it shouldn't bother you. Okay, stick to what is working for you. All right, all right. So Three, three, three. Freedom in simplicity. Freedom in simplicity. Okay. Advantage of choosing less, less. Okay. The benefit of choosing less is that you get financial control over things. Okay. Choosing less. Okay. Deeper gratitude and time for what matters. Time for what matters. Okay. So with four, with four, practical way to live modestly. Creating budget, buying only what you need. All right, buying only what you need, nothing more, nothing less. All right, unplugging from consumer. Okay, I think the one I talked about, the simplicity I mentioned, the modesty I mentioned earlier, the one I mentioned before even start with the point. I think that isn't the okay. Might be my personal opinion, but I think modest living is actually choosing what is best for you. It might not be standard, but for you, it might be the standard for you. Okay, it might not be generally accepted as the standard, but for you, with what you are handling right now, because with what I'm talking about right now, it's not by force or it's not necessary that I go and take um I take something like something huge. You say before I try to tell you all I need is something like this to make examples, something like my jotted information and stuff. Okay, it isn't by force that I get the most expensive pen to write before you hear or something. Okay, so I think it is modesty is that's what it means. Mm? So we should reconsider what I mentioned earlier. Okay, that it is what the standard. No, the standard might be standard for everyone, but your standard might not be that one. Okay, your standard might be what works for you. Okay, so let's just get that one so that it doesn't happen that I'm using my opinion to overshadow what is actually there. All right, so I'm clarifying myself now. I didn't say it well at the beginning. This what it actually means that you know um freedom in simplicity. Okay, freedom in simplicity. And then let's go back to number one and mention how what it actually means. Okay, this is intentionally choosing simplicity over excess. Okay, choosing what works for you at the level you are. Simplicity at so if you can get what is supposed like the most standard, fine. But modest living is actually choosing what works for you in a simple way over just excess anywhere. You don't need it by the wasting time. Okay. All right. So now we are actually at what four, because I mentioned three as freedom is simplicity, and then the advantage of choosing less, which is financial. That those advantages are financial control. You have financial control over what is around you. Deeper gratitude and time for. Okay, I didn't mention about let me just mention four, four, four. Practical way. I'll come back and explain these things. Okay, that's why I'm trying to just brush through it. All right. Okay. Practical way to live modestly. Creating budget, buying only what you need, unplugging from consumerism. Um, some others are decluttering. Declustering, that means you when you start living modestly, decluster you decluster things, like you get rid of unnecessary things around so that you see, because when it becomes cluster plenty. Mm. All right, so secondhand shopping, you see, secondhand shopping, all right, because that's actually at what you are doing, that might be what you need. All right, all right. And that brings us to financial control. To now you can afford it and even get balance. Okay, secondhand shopping or prioritizing need over want. It's not what about what you want or something. Okay, and then I think the last point will be mentioned as living modestly doesn't mean living small. All right, modest living actually allows space for purpose, creativity, and freedom. All right, modest living actually allows space for purpose. Okay, so it allows space for what is important, right? Because now you don't go about just trying to impress people or trying to impress society for nothing. All right, Because at the end of the day, when you do it properly and then it benefits you, whether society likes it or not, you are okay, right? You are okay, and you don't waste your time bullshitting around. All right. So this can also mean that making room for what truly adds value, not shrinking dreams. Okay, you make room for what is important. Okay, because when you are doing that now, people see you for what you are. People understand it. And if they don't understand, that means they don't belong. All right, they don't belong to your cycle or something. All right, and then whatever you get to also brings value to you, so you don't get a lot of unnecessary things around that you don't need. Right, so I think by mentioning this, I can go back and then brush through it once again so that whatever wasn't covered can now be talked about. Right, so up to now, if you are still watching and you kind of think it's cool and you have any opinion also, for opinion, you can just comment below. If you like, you can just like it so that you can get more of this. Because when you show that you like it, it will be shown to you more. All right. So the topic was that living modestly in a world obsessed with more. That was our main topic. Then I came to the description of the topic because it might be just too short for everyone to understand. So for the explanation, it said that the world pushes luxury, status, and success, but Jesus calls. So actually, we are here to look at things through Jesus' lens, okay? But Jesus calls us to something richer. Let's talk about modestly, not let's talk about modestly as not just in dress, okay? Not just in dress, just dressing, simply and okay, and then feeling okay. But in mindset also, lifestyle and value, and how it leads to peace and purpose. Because everything in Jesus is actually aimed at living in peace. All right. Thank you for watching till now. All right. So, what is modest living? I mentioned it, all right, as choosing simplicity over excess, and then pressure to keep up, which shouldn't be your target. You shouldn't have that pressure. That pressure should be removed from your side if you want to live a modest life, right? Don't have the pressure to be buying things that people are buying because they are also buying. But if you buy, it should be that you need it. That's why you are getting that stuff, all right? All right. Sometimes you might even have the thing already. So why buy the new one? Just that your own might be a different version, but it will be for the same purpose and for this and the same it will serve the same purpose, all right? So why waste resources to get new one? Because you think society is doing it, so you should also engage. So disengage for modesty sake. All right, let's move on. Freedom in simplicity. There is freedom in simplicity. Okay, in the sense that you get financial control, deeper gratitude. Now you understand that I'm okay with the simple. Okay, time for what matters. Not everything matters. You are aware of that, right? All right. So I think number four is practical way to live moderately. Creating budgets. Buying only what you need. Unplugging from consumerism. Consumerism, just consuming things and then just taking things in without creating anything or selling anything or those things. Okay. All right. So living modestly doesn't mean living small. It doesn't mean you are behaving as if you are poor or something. No. Okay. It actually allows space for purpose. Okay. You do what is important, and that will be better, far better than trying to impress too much. All right. Okay. So with that being said, I'll mention just a little stuff in addition so that we can bring this to an end and check what comes next. All right. So I've been mentioning that we should choose something, we should choose something, we should choose something. And I'll add that I've chosen Jesus, and then you should also try. I suggest that you should also try and choose Jesus and those things. Okay. What I actually mean choose something that don't just be there. Okay. Even if it's not Jesus, at least choose something and start believing in something and check if that thing is correct enough. Okay. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the spiritual level, spirit is spirit, okay? Just that Jesus' spirit is the superior, or is the highest, okay? Because Jesus is God, all right? So the thing is, if you don't choose anything and you are just there, something has chosen you, but you might not be aware. But choosing Jesus makes everything else to leave you because the superior has not taken you, all right? The highest I start taking you, nobody can take away from a strong man. When someone is stronger than you and the person is holding something, you can't take that. You can do nothing about it. All right. That's why I've been saying that choose something. But if you want to choose what's best, choose Jesus. And still, if you think you are not ready or something, and there's no need to be ready, just choose. Okay, you will prepare. You just will prepare. You can't prepare yourself. So you choose. And if in case you have not chosen anything, you just choose what you think you should choose. At the end of the day, if you are growing spiritually, now when you come and see the essence of Christ and then you switch, you would have gotten some experience in the spiritual level. It's better than remaining a baby. And then when they pick you, you have zero experience in the spiritual realm. When they give instruction, you think it's just a mere instruction. Meanwhile, the spiritual is even stricter. Like there are more strict things around. So I think with that being said, I will end this here. We'll continue some other time and stay blessed, stay blessed, stay sharp. God willing, we'll meet some other time. Okay, bye.